A couple of folks that still do have your best interest at heart and the best interest of our children and our world, and our fantastic pledge signers in good standing is Representative Heather Scott and Senator Tammy Nichols, and they both have teamed up on a bill it's a fascinating bill, and it's one that I thought I didn't think we actually needed, because we all thought it was already happening, but apparently it's not happening the way it should be happening, perhaps. And so Senate Bill 1046 was in committee yesterday, and this is a bill that would make sure that our public schools are teaching students how human beings are created, how they develop in the womb. And there's a big reason behind this, is because we've gone probably through a generation or two where the science has really elevated to the point where we can understand the development of a human being in the womb. And so it's not just about how you made the baby, but it's about teaching students the development of the baby. And so, and the reason for this was put so perfectly with an experience that Representative Heather Scott had. So now that I feel like I've caught you up to speed a little bit, let's listen to Representative Scott tell her story of why she was inspired to get behind this bill.
Thank you. I'm Representative Heather Scott, District 2, and I'm the co-sponsor. And I didn't have a lot to add. She shared a lot. But I did want to share a personal story that made me interested in this bill. And my niece was 18. She came out to visit me in Idaho, and we were at the county fair, and we were walking by a pro-life booth, and they had those little babies, like all the different sizes of development. And she looked at me and she said, "Aunt Heather, that's not real." I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "We learned in school it's just a clump of tissue." And she's like, "They just do that to make people come talk to their group." And so I found that really disturbing. So when this bill came to light, and Tammy and Senator Nichols and I had learned of it, I thought this would be a really good bill to co-sponsor. So that's all I wanted to share.
Wonderful story there. I mean, heartbreaking, especially because it's worse than you thought. If you're sitting in school and all your teachers are telling you, it's just a clump of cells until about, an hour before birth, then it becomes a baby, poof, right? But I mean, how many of you out there have heard the same argument for years and years? It's just a clump of tissue. It's just a clump of cells. And over the years, we have seen science really figure out by ultrasound. Before they were sonograms. Now you have ultrasound. Now you have like 3D ultrasound, where you can like get a full 3D picture of your. I have copies of from when my wife was pregnant with our children. You have 3D copies of 3D versions of what the baby looks like inside. And then there is when you can get all of that information, and then you can create a sort of like a computer generated model, to really clean up the image, to really get into there and look at what it looks like from inside the womb. And so Senator Tammy Nichols presented, here it is. Senator Tammy Nichols presented this video. It's called Baby Olivia, and it goes through the journey from from conception, you can see here, and where the egg meets, or the sperm meets the egg, and it gets embedded into the uterus, and so forth. And as this video unfolds, it's basically narrated, and it goes through a sort of the stages, the 2 weeks, the 3 weeks, and so forth throughout the life of the unborn child here. And so at a certain point, she shared this video in the room with the legislators, with the committee. And it was fascinating because there was definitely a lot of pushback from this, because obviously this isn't real footage. This is computer generated, right? But something like this was used as Senator Nichols says she wanted to see something like this, whatever the curriculum would be, to be shown during to students, so that they understand the truth of what really is inside the womb. Now, of course, the Democrats, who are completely bonkers on what goes on in inside the womb when it comes to pro-life and pro-choice issues, or pro-abortion issues, and that sort of thing. Like, this is their bread and butter. They have to defend this with all their might. And so Senator Ward Engelking pushed back on not only this video, but the whole thought of even teaching what goes on inside the womb. The bill here would instruct 5th through 12th graders, 5th grade to 12th grade, would have, if there's ever any discussion on the development of a human fetus, of the baby, that they be taught these types of science. And so we're going to watch the whole exchange here between the senator and Senator Nichols.
In this, it says shall, so it's mandating, and it's 5th through 12 inclusive. In every class that discusses or provides instruction concerning human biology. That's a pretty wide swath of classes. Having taught 6th grade and junior high, this type of video, high definition video ultrasound, in my opinion, would not be appropriate, age appropriate, for 5th, 6th, and probably even most junior high students. Currently, the practice is we bring in nurses or doctors to do any instruction on this. And then finally, I guess I'd say that I see a lot of inaccuracies according to pediatrics and Public Health Association and gynecologists in this video that we just saw. I know that there is no consensus among the scientific or religious communities about when life begins, and yet that's how this video starts. So I'm worried that we would be putting inaccurate information out to our students that is not age appropriate, and that there's a civil action, that the Attorney General could bring a civil action compelling school districts and charter districts to comply with the provisions in this section. So if you'll just talk me through some of those issues I see, maybe I'm missing something.
Senator Nichols.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Senator Ward Engelking. I guess I would start with there's only one way a baby develops. And so, I mean, and again, we're not specifying what the development video has to be. It can be whatever, but there's one process that babies go through in development. And this is just saying that, that they're going to show from conception, which there's only one way for that really to be done too. Unless you're using some sort of medical type process, but just the normal development of a baby, this is your foundation, this is your basics. I don't know of any other, I mean, we don't grow them out of a garden or anything along those lines. So, so that's your foundation. And yeah, there is a section in there to that does bring in the Attorney General for making sure that it is being done. We have that with a lot of different things, and again, different individuals. I mean, the way that they teach it or instruct it, from the teachers that I talked to, that was the way that they do it there. This wouldn't change necessarily any of that. It's just saying to incorporate this also. And then let me know if I didn't answer any other questions.
God bless you. God bless you, Senator Nichols. That was so great. I mean, you know, sometimes these Democrats, they lob up these basketballs that you just dunk down, you know. Babies aren't grown in a garden. This is how it's done. Unbelievable. And again, the Democrats here, they're so hypocritical. It is too much for a 7th grader or an 8th grader to learn how a baby develops in the womb. But it's completely okay. Is that what Allman's saying? He's about to say what I was going to say. Yeah, but it's completely okay to figure out what kind of gender you are, whether you like to diddle yourself and that it's okay to do so, or what sexual preferences that you like. That's fine at fifth grade. You know, shout out, be proud, wear a pride flag in kindergarten, and talk about all sorts of gender bender, stuff or whatever. I don't know, all the garbage that's going on that are sitting on the shelves in the libraries and all this stuff. You've seen it all. It's disgusting. That's okay. That's okay. But understanding what a unborn child looks like at 4 weeks and seeing a heartbeat, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Okay, well, the good news is that bill. Wow, what happened to that bill? Actually, I think that bill. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it might have gone to the 14th order to get amended. Because of the cause of action. I think I could be wrong. I believe Senator Nichols says she would be willing to have it go to the 14th order in order to tweak some of the cause of action or the punishments for not doing it. I think I could be correct. I apologize for not having that information right now. I just got so caught up in the argument, but that's what happened. So that's Senate Bill 1046. If you want to pay attention to that, please mark that down on your own bill tracker and keep eyes on that one. It was great to see that.